Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, back in with another video, and this is going to be episode 13 of Your Questions Answered. Your Questions Answered is a Q&A series I do on this channel. It's going to be Lego Star Wars or Lego Star Wars related questions, so if you want to see it on this video, go ahead, post it in the comment section, and check back next week to see if your question made the cut. Let's jump right into the questions. First question is by Tipping Top Hat. He says, did any YouTubers inspire you to create your YouTube channel? If you guys go back and check to my earlier videos, you'll see that a lot of them aren't Lego related at all. In fact, most of them are like stick figure animations of wrestling, and then it kind of graduates to Lego wrestling. I think that was what I was really known for quite some time until I took a long hiatus and then kind of came back as a Lego Star Wars YouTuber. So a lot of the original content creators aren't even around anymore, and I don't think it would be relevant to like talk to you guys about for inspiring me with my channel. But insofar as people that inspired me to kind of get into the Lego Star Wars YouTube game, I would say that Chris Productions is the one who really inspired me to become consistent at it. I just remember sitting back one day and someone sent me a link to his Scarif series that he was doing, and he was just standing next to that giant citadel that he was working on, and I was just blown away, and I was thinking like, wow, like this is something that I feel I could do. It'd be really cool for me to have some sort of build series that people can, you know, check back to every week and get really hooked on and be excited for. So I'd say Chris Productions is definitely one of the people who inspired me. Brick Plumber is the one who kind of inspired me to start building, so I can't really understate that. I know I sound like a broken record saying that at this point, but Chris Productions is the one who really inspired me to transition my building from just going on like Flickr and Eurobricks to actually going to YouTube and Instagram and kind of putting my stuff there. So let's go on to the next question. JD Studio says, do you think Lego Star Wars is becoming too expensive and will eventually price fans out? I like this question a lot because I feel that whenever a new wave comes out, the biggest topic is always one, like what the sets are, but then two, how overpriced the sets are. And it seems like more and more people are kind of getting upset about this thing. And while I do think that like the price of Lego sets will probably be to Lego's detriment, like they may end up selling less, and I think we've been seeing that a lot with even Star Wars merchandise. Like Force Awakens did really well, but since then the merchandise that they've been selling has been going down and down since then. And anyone who shops at Walmart can really see this. Like if you guys go to Walmart, it's almost not even like a week after new sets are released, but they're already on discount, and that's because Lego sets the prices so high initially that like no one's gonna buy them at those prices, or at least not enough people that Walmart sees necessary, so they like immediately slash the prices. And I mean, I guess it might work. I mean, it seems to have been working for them, but I do see that, you know, sometime down the line, they're probably going to have to reach some sort of level where that won't be necessary, where they can just like make the price and then they can put it out there and all the retailers will just stay with that price. And so far as like I guess diverting fans away from the brand, I don't really see that happening. I think Lego and Star Wars are both strong enough to people that unless the prices get absolutely insane, people will still find their way to the store to pick up something. It may not be as much as they used to, but I think people will still buy something of Lego Star Wars. So I don't really see this being something that should like have us in fear of, you know, people like leaving in mass groups away from Lego Star Wars. I think they're safe in that regard, but I do think there's going to have to at some point be some sort of self-reflection on like who they want to reach out to with these sets. Do they want these things to be accessible? If that's the case, then they're going to have to find a price that doesn't require retailers to almost immediately slash the prices after sets are released. Next question is by Pama Postal. He says, do you think Lego will ever make Star Wars minifigure collectible series, and then your top 15 for the series? This is something that I feel gets brought up a lot, and it seems like it would be a no-brainer for Lego to just do this. The thing that I've always heard, and I think that it probably makes the most sense, is that Lego is contractually not allowed to make a CMF series for Star Wars. I think the case is that Hasbro has like exclusive action figure rights to the Star Wars brand, so Lego would be kind of making action figures in a sense if they did make the CMF series, which is why figures always comes in sets. And that's, I guess, absent from polybags, or polybags are usually giveaways. But I think that that's why we don't see that. I don't think that Lego is intentionally just holding this back from us. I think that if it were up to them, they would probably be doing this all the time. Like they seem to have no problem doing it where they know they can make money. And I think it's just something like in the contract that just doesn't allow Lego to do this. If it were possible, I would personally want them to start off with a Cantina series. I think that that would be one of the coolest things for them to do. The Cantina is home to some of the most iconic background characters in all of Star Wars, and while it doesn't seem feasible for them to include all of them in a set, even if they did a UCS Cantina set, they couldn't really populate it as much as we see in the movie. But with a collectible minifigure series, they can get some of those more obscure characters that we see in the background and put them available into production so we can buy them and then put them into some sort of like Cantina mock or Cantina set that Lego makes. So I would like to see a Cantina line of figures, and there's so many other things they could do. I would honestly like to see them kind of be location based, so whenever Lego releases a line of Star Wars collectible minifigures, it would be kind of based on a location or a scene. That way, like when you buy the whole wave, you're kind of getting like a well rounded collection of a particular scene or scenario or location. So that would be the way that I would approach it. I think that'd be fun for a lot of people, and it also could, you know, incentivize people to get a lot of duplicates, because there could be troops and stuff in there or background characters that could be duplicates. And I mean, it seems like the money train would be totally rolling if Lego decided to do it, and I can't help but think that there has to be something contractually that's stopping them from doing it. Otherwise, they would absolutely do it. Next question is by Brickmaster23. He says, do you think Clone Wars will feel different with Disney as the parent company? I thought this was interesting because people, I guess, can definitely say like there's certainly a different feel from Disney Star Wars than like the prequel trilogy. I think that Disney Star Wars is definitely more in line with the original trilogy, with a few different things. Like it's kind of more influenced by certain like modern movie making tropes and things like that. But insofar as like the Clone Wars feeling different, I honestly would have to say no. Like anyone who watches Rebels, I feel, would say that it didn't really feel too much different than the Clone Wars. I think Rebels maybe was there, obviously like Rebels like didn't go back and forth between stories, so like Rebels felt more linear than the Clone Wars. But other than that, I think like the tones that they reached for different episodes were pretty in line. I think that Disney gives Dave Filoni a lot of freedom with these animated series, so I definitely wouldn't be afraid of like the Clone Wars feeling any different under Disney than it did when George Lucas was funding it. Next question is by Real Lego Man Productions. He says, what is your favorite Star Wars movie that Disney has made so far? This is easy. The Last Jedi. I love The Last Jedi. For me, my Star Wars Disney movies rank as such. Last Jedi is the first one, Force Awakens is the second one, Rogue One, and then the Solo movie. I've kind of been going back and forth, and the thing that made me actually put Rogue One above Solo is that I haven't seen Solo since I've seen it in theaters. So I saw it twice in theaters, haven't seen it since, like obviously the Blu-ray isn't out or anything like that. But the bigger point of this is that I don't really feel the desire to see it. Like I'm not like super anticipating the release of the Blu-ray so I can watch the movie again. Like I'm not that excited to rewatch it. And the fact that the Solo movie doesn't have that kind of replay value that those other movies had, I think that I put Rogue One above it. Previously, I would have said Solo first, but right now Rogue One is above it. Maybe when I actually do rewatch Solo, I'll end up enjoying it more than Rogue One. But for now, Solo is my least favorite. Last Jedi is my favorite. Young Dagger Flicks wants to know, Rich Boy J, when will you do a room tour? I plan on doing a room tour once I hit 10,000 subscribers. I think that's going to be the special thing that I give to you guys. I may do a giveaway alongside it just to kind of keep with the tradition, but I do want to do a room tour. I feel like I have so many fascinating things in this room that you guys haven't even seen yet. Like I have a closet full of box sets. I did a video on it a while back, but I've kind of added to it since then. And there's just so much cool stuff in there and all across this room, and mocks that you guys I've built that you guys have never even seen before in detail. So that's going to be my goal for 10,000 subscribers. So once I hit that, you guys will get the room tour. What that means is if you're watching this now and you're not subscribed, go ahead and do it, and we'll be one step closer to a room tour. Final question is by Rogue Rebel. He says, Jay, if you could only buy sets from one movie, what would it be? P.S. If you put this in the video, thank you. You're welcome. You're in the video. This is a question that I kind of got this before. I believe that the context for that previous question was like what era when I want to buy sets for. But if I had to choose one movie that I had to buy sets for, I think honestly For me, it would be my gut feeling is between either episode 3 and episode 5. And episode 3 is really only in there because we see so many things in episode 3 that, like, you have a wide variety of things to choose from. Like, we see so many different locations in that movie and people and things like that and ships and stuff like that. But episode 5, like, you get all the Imperial stuff. You get the AT-AT Walker, you get Hoth, you get Dagobah and Bespin. So episode 4 is my favorite movie, but I think that I would rather have, like, Hoth stuff than Tatooine stuff. If I had to put episode 3 and episode 5 against each other, I may weigh on the side of episode 5. Just because, like, I love the Battle of Hoth. Hoth gave us so many iconic Star Wars vehicles, and, like, there's still X-Wings and Y-Wings in there as well. And Cloud City is obviously great. We don't get enough sets as it is of those. So, you know, if I was going to choose one thing at this point moving forward, I'd just go ahead and get all those Cloud City sets that I've been missing out on since LEGO started making Star Wars sets. So this is actually something I want to know what you guys think. If you guys had to pick one episode to have LEGO Star Wars sets from, and that means, like, previous sets and moving forward, like, new sets that LEGO could possibly release, which would you go for? Would you air for something in the prequels, or would you want something from the original trilogy or from the sequel trilogy? Let me know in the comment section. That's going to finish up the video, guys. Thanks to everyone who submitted their questions. And like I said, if you want to see your questions answered in this video, go ahead, post it in the comment section. Make sure it's LEGO Star Wars or LEGO Star Wars related, and then check back next week to see if you made the cut. Like I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.